Today on the channel, we get sick with the WWE Mattel Elite Walmart exclusive 3-pack of the Wyatt Sick.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Elite unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got a Walmart exclusive 3-pack with the latest and greatest. We got the Wyatt Sick. But for all your Wyatt needs and a whole lot more, hit up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, you know we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there, and this set here has been throwing up all over Walmarts this week. I was in a lot of Walmarts in my travels this week, and I probably came across about 30 of these. Your mileage may vary, as we always say here on the channel, but if you're patient, you should be able to find these, especially with the $85, somewhere around their price point. These aren't going to be flying off the shelf really quick at that price point there, but interesting to get here, and it's very cool, and you guys know I'm a big fan of it. Building out, completing factions, completing teams, and that's what we got here with the Wyatt Sick, the Wyatt Sick, the Wyatt Sick, I guess, technically, and they got the 6 on the end, but there's only 5 members, so it's not the Wyatt 6. It gets very complicated, but then, yes, you're right, Todd McFarlane, is Bray Wyatt the 6th member? He's kind of the unseen member. For whatever reason it is, we're completing the team, and we're going to talk all things Wyatt family here with these 3, and we'll bring out the rest of the gang. We'll do some comparisons, all that fun stuff later in this video. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Let's get into the 3-pack. You know me, I love a box set. I go back to my childhood. Always fun when you're a kid, you get a box set. I don't care if we're talking Marvel, G.I. Joe, or wrestling. So fun to get 3 new figures in your collection. It's just a whole new weekend to play when you got 3 wrestlers coming in. And that's what we got going on here. Very cool dark packaging style on this one. WWE logo, you got the Wyatt family logo up there, the Wyatt 6 right up here. You got their names down below, Elite, 8 and Up, Mattel. Big window if you want to get the autographs on this one. Now, personally, I wish they would have went all in on a box set and had the whole family together in one box set instead of piecing everything out and around. Now, Uncle Howdy we've had as a main event and an ultimate. Check out the reviews on the channel. Now, they throw him in here because they know people want Rowan, they want Nikki Cross, they're going to buy this, but they already got the ultimate. It's playing games. It's playing games with Mattel. We know what it is, but at the end of the day, you put the business hat on. It is a business. They're here to make money. That's why they're doing stuff like this. But I think a lot of people would have said, hey, throw Joe Gacy in here, have Wyatt or Uncle Howdy separate. Not going to happen, obviously, but that's what we got right here. We're going to dive into it. We got the 3 on the side of the package, Elite Collection. On the back, you got the real world glamour shot, plus a little bit of tail of the tape blurbage action. Let's see what it says about our friends here. And it says, they're here. For weeks, cryptic messages featuring familiar faces from the Firefly Funhouse popped up on WWE programming on Raw on June 17th, 2024, right between my wife and I's birthday, Todd McFarlane. The creations from the mind of Madman turned the backstage area into a horror show. I'll never forget that. Uncle Howdy collected a following of lost souls to prevent Bray Wyatt's legacy, to preserve Bray Wyatt's legacy. How about people struggling with grief? Among them, the last of the Wyatt family, Erick Rowan, aka the Ramblin' Rabbit. Others followed. The spirit of the Abby the Witch took over the mind of the unhinged Nikki Cross. Together with Joe Gacy, Huskus the Pig Boy, and Dexter Loomis, Mercy the Buzzard, the Wyatt 6 found their purpose: inflict fear and suffering to those in need. Let them in. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to let them into our hearts here and out of the box today on the channel. See you later. Goodbye. There it goes. Get a little background here. I can see somebody maybe saving this background if that is your thing. Maybe a little display piece, or maybe straight to the recycling bin like me. See you later. Goodbye. And then there it is. Plastic prison for all 3 here. Now, one thing I'm noting with this is there is no extra hands for any of the characters here. That is a little bit shocking to me here. I mean, Erick Rowan's got a lot of new stuff going on, but it's not exactly brand new stuff. There is some new stuff there. A lot of new stuff around. But I'm going to take this offline, get all the twist ties, get these 3 out. We'll be back talking all things Wyatt 6. All right, we got the Wyatts out of the pack, and I got some stuff I like and some stuff I don't like about this set right off the bat. But let's dive into it. Let's dive into our old friend Nikki Cross. How about? And it's shocking how little Nikki Cross has wrestled over the last year plus, but also how shocking how few action figures she's had. We got her once upon a time part of Sanity, and we've got her as the superhero Nikki Cross, but we never got just a regular Nikki Cross figure, which I think is a shame. But now we got Abby the Witch, I guess is what we got going on here. And one of the creepiest members of the Wyatt family, I would say, from the six here. And we do got Nikki Cross, small figure. She's just a little thing, as we know. Black hair going on. And then you got the mask over the top with the paint on it. The grungy teeth. Somebody get her to a dentist stat. But looking very creepy, looking very scary. Very stereotypical 2000s horror, too. You always see things in like horror movies. And horror movies just don't hit as hard as they did in the 70s and 80s. For me personally, I know a lot of people like current ones, and there's a few I dabble in. But here we go, soapbox time, story time with Kyle. I like my grungy, grimy, exploitation, over-the-top movies. Give me Hell of the Living Dead. Give me the Cannibal Holocaust. Give me that kind of stuff. That's what I want out of my horror movies. But, you know, I dabble in other stuff too. But this one, very grungy. And one thing I should mention about this pack, I could see horror collectors, horror fans buying this because it's got the horror elements to it. Maybe you mix it in with some of your NECA, your horror collection, whatever it may be. So that is something I can see some people doing. But Nikki Cross looking good for what it is. It reminds me of Nikki Cross. And I would say you better get this Nikki Cross figure. Who knows the next time we'll get one. We haven't got very many in the past. This could be your only shot. And it would be a shame if this is the only shot people get for the family 3-pack or the 2 of the members, I guess. We got Uncle Howdy before. We'll see what happens in the future. She does got quite the dress here. It's definitely well worn, as it is pretty rusty, pretty old, pretty gross, pretty grimy. She needs to do something about that. She continues the consistency, at least they're consistent in the skin tone for Nikki. It's very pale skin on her. She's got the old-timey ruffle hands, ruffle around the hands, I guess we'll say it, under the forearms. You got the gloves going on, white nail polish on that. Got the dress down low, and then you even got the stockings underneath the dress here. And then the black boots. Now, articulation, arms all the way around, bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows, playing the hits, hands back and forth, side to side, no accessories, no extra hands with her. That is a bit of a bummer. Head back and forth, side to side, up and down, waist articulation, no ab crunch in this one here, just the dumbbell joint. Splits, kind of, but you're limited a lot in the legs by the dress over the top. Same thing up here. Should get the thigh cut. We do get that. We do get double jointed pin knees. Yes, pin knees. What are we doing? We got those going on. Very unsightly boot cut on this one as well. I'm not exactly sure. Well, I guess it's a cost cutting prevention here or whatever, but they have the calf cut up here and you got boots. It's weird we don't have the boot cut, but is what it is. A design choice is what that is. Ankles up and down, back, forth, side to side. Basically our usual articulation here with one Nikki Cross. And does she fit? She does on a Mattel ringside collectible stand. How about that? Ladies first. Nikki going in hard. But now we're going to dive over an old friend, one we've had multiple times. And honestly, if you got the Ultimate Edition, I don't know if this one's going to really rock your world too much. But it is Mr. Howdy, Uncle Howdy right here. He's got his top hat looking good as usual. Got that very white hair on him. You do got the mask once again. This is a blue mask here. Got the big bushy goatee in the front. Some bright blue eyes on him. Blue-eyed soul, Todd McFarlane. Got that going on. He does got the jacket over the top here. Long sleeve black jacket. You got the one black glove. Does say Bray on the glove over here. No glove on the other side. Gripping hands for him. No extra hands, which is unfortunate. However, if you do got the Ultimate Edition, you could mix and match if you want to. You do got the overcoat over the top here. Now, the coat is removable, so that is a way to make him look at least a little bit different. You got the black shirt underneath, and you got kind of the studs right here. Looking very nice, giving it a little dash of color. Got the sculpted in belt, got the black pants, got the black boots, arms all the way around, bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows, hands back, forth, side to side, head back, forth, side to side, head removable. And just like his Ultimate's head doesn't stay on very well. This one, very easy to remove. It's not going to fall off on you, but it's very easy to remove. Waist articulation and ab crunch. Big splits if you need it. Leg goes up for the big boot. You do got the thigh cut, double jointed knees, boot cut, ankles back, forth, side to side, up and down. Our usual articulation here. Probably the least fun one out of this set, just because we've had 2 versions prior. If this was our first chance to get Uncle Howdy, I think people would be screaming for this 3-pack. But I think a lot of people are saying, hey, there's nothing better than the Ultimate, so they're good with the Ultimate. It's nice to have this. I display my Ultimates and Elites separately, so I'm glad to have this in the collection. But Uncle Howdy looking good. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Yes, he does. Using code Kyle to save 10%. Articulation been pretty clean on these guys too. No Vietnam issues so far. But speaking of issues, how about Erick Rowan? Let's dive into him because I saw some issues right out of the pack with this one. But first we're going to dive into it. It has the big old sledgehammer here. Has help written on it. And I'll never forget spending a little bit of time once upon a time with one Erick Rowan. Todd, you were there. We went to Ailstorm. You ever seen the band Ailstorm? Now, if I'm going to dabble in some pirate metal, you know me, I love a guy with an eye patch. I love some pirate songs every once in a while. So does Todd. But preferably for me, I like Running Wild. Shout out to German metal, Running Wild, rocking with Rolf over there. You got to listen to the Running Wild if you've never heard it. Most people probably heard some Ailstorm. It was worth going to one time. But good friend of the channel now, of course, Erick Rowan, Todd McFarlane, was at that Ailstorm concert. He was hanging at the merch stand, and then for the show, he was right behind me. And I remember looking back like, holy cow, is that my dad behind me? And nope, it was Big Red Erick Rowan. So he was enjoying some Ailstorm up there in the old Minneapolis area. So we do got that going. But we got the big help hammer there. Very cool. This is one of the selling pieces of this set here. Looking good like the bunny here. Looking more demented than what we saw in the Firefly Funhouse. As we know, got those big ears, got the fur. Would have loved to seen real fur. That's just me. You know me, I love fur. But he's just got the big teeth going on in the front. Made me laugh a little bit. Very pointy teeth. And if you've ever been bitten by a rabbit, it's no fun. I can tell you firsthand. You do got the big pink nose on there. Looking very good. It's a big mask. Goes right over the top on him. I will for sure be displaying it this way. So I do welcome another Rowan figure that I could display as regular Erick Rowan. But this one, you got to display with this mask over the top. Very, very cool. You know I'm here for that. But what I'm not here for is quality issues, quality imperfections. And he's got a lot of gig marks on his bald head. I got a lot of, it looks like dirt and overspray from his beard. I don't know what's going on over there. And I've seen others have that same issue. So this is going to be a common one. And as usual, you know, you can take care of this with some acetone or whatever. You can repaint it if you want to, but you can take care of it if you need to. But we shouldn't have to do that, especially at $85 for a 3-pack. We should be getting perfection in the paint. But, you know, problems happen. But I've seen a few people with this issue. So make note of that. I guess try to look in the box. But I tried to look and I couldn't tell. So your mileage, it definitely may vary there. But I'm going to have to clean up that head. But besides the issues on the paint, you know this is Erick Rowan. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Angry mouth as well. Big, bushy red beard. Of course, Erick Redbeard. Looking very cool, though. I do like the looks of this. Much like a young Viking once upon a time. Got the big jacket over the top with the fur. Looking very cool. Tattoos all over the place, all the way down into the hands. And unfortunately, no fists, no extra hands with him here. Really is missing. Would have liked to seen a fist or something else. Not in the cards for whatever reason. But you do got the big body on him. Very Braun Strowman-esque is kind of what it reminds me of. And obviously, Braun Strowman, once upon a time, a member of the Wyatt family, as we do know. Black wife beater underneath there. Got the brown pants there. Big brown pants here. A little stitching on the sides. There's a little extra details. Down into the black boots. And man, oh man, does he have some small feet. He's a big, big dude. I can't imagine this is correct. He's got to be rocking a size 14 or something like that. I have to imagine. If I'm rocking a 12, he's got to be a 16 or something. Who knows? But we got that going on. Now, arms do go all the way around, bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows, hands back far side to side, head back far side to side, ab crunch, waist articulation, big old splits if you need them. Leg goes up. Uh-oh. I just spoke too soon about the Vietnam issues. This leg is not going up. I mean, at least it's going up and not bouncing back, but it is very stiff and it does not go up very high. I guess that's not the end of the world. He's not Rey Mysterio. He's not Javon Evans or something like that. He's not bouncy, but he doesn't got a lot of good movement out of that hip, and it feels kind of strange. It doesn't feel like our normal hip movement, but it will move. It will move. Thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, playing the hits at least there. And then you get the ankles back, far side to side, up and down for Mr. Erick Rowan, and he also should fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand using code Kyle to save 10%. So there it is. The Wyatt's ride once again, but we're not done. We got to bring out some friends. How about we bring out a couple of versions of Rowan Once Upon a Time? This is a tough one to beat. I remember I picked this one up at Walgreens of all places back in the day. Absolutely love that one. Him and Brody Lee looking very cool together. And then we got one way back in the day. We've had quite a few Rowans. We've had probably 7 or 8 in total. So time for that Erick Rowan top 5. People have been clamoring, Todd McFarlane, but we do got a couple of examples right here. But we're not done with examples. How about a little Nikki Cross example here? We've got some Nikki Crosses. We're going all the way back to the Sanity days at NXT. I forgot all about this figure. We got that, and then we got the Superhero edition. So Nikki playing all kinds of gimmicks, all kinds of different stuff. But I would love to see a plain Jane Nikki. I don't think that's in the cards anytime soon, but it would have been nice to have at least once just to represent that time in her career. Maybe in the future, we'll see what happens. We got 3 editions right there. And we're not done with the Mr. Howdy here. We got the main event edition of him, and we got the Ultimate edition. So how many do you need? I don't know. How many are they going to make? But there is differences here. So I want to point that out too. You get the blue face here. And it's like blackface, but it's blue. And it offends the whole population of the Smurfs and the Blue Man Group, if I'm not mistaken. So Mattel walking a fine line right there. You got to be careful. We've got the blue face on the new one. The main event's got the straight up green face, which green face is a whole new ball game. I'm not sure of that one. Maybe Kermit the Frog's involved. I'm not sure. And then the Ultimate's got more of a kind of a brownish face. I don't know. So there is differences between the 3. I'm glad Mattel did that. They gave us a little meat on the bone right here with a different face. So once again, you can mix and match and move them around if that is something you want to do. So that is cool to see that they did go that and made a little bit of difference there. I'm going to put the old bunny hat on Rowan here. Slide it on. There we go. But now we're going to dive into it. We're going to put all the group together right here. We're going to bring those 3 forward, put the other ones in the back. And then we're going to bring out, of course, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy so we can have the Wyatts riding right here in style. And that's how I'm going to display them in my collection. You got to put them all together. There's no doubt. But building out a shelf, I think between these guys and what's coming in the future, plus all the Bray Wyatt figures we've had, it's basically one full-on cube in my D-Tolf, if not spilling over at this point here. So very fun to complete a faction, to complete a team. I love doing that, going back to my childhood. So very fun to pick up this pack. I would say, hey, make sure you're checking it out, making sure there's no paint issues on your Rowan figure. And I could see some people wanting to play the long game on this one as well, because that $85 price point is very stiff. No extra hands, no extra heads, anything like that. So we've seen these go to clearance, so that might be a possibility. It's always clearance roulette is what we do call it. But I'm glad I picked it up. It was worth picking up for me. Got to clean up Rowan a little bit, but besides that, a good set if you're building this team out. So there it is, the Wyatt family, the Wyatt 6, I guess, technically. What is your guys' thoughts? Pick up, pass, long game, no game, not so sure game, waiting for the clearance game? Let me know in the comments down below. If you made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Patreon, best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. And let me tell you, there's a lot of content each and every day over there and YouTube channel memberships. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show. Available where podcasts are found with videocast on YouTube. So for the Wyatt 3-pack, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?